You didn't get into the business to stare at spreadsheets, chase down invoices, or wonder why your phone stopped ringing. You got in to build something, a business, a legacy, a life on your own terms. But nobody told you how hard that actually is. Torch and Talk is for the garage door owner who's out there in the field before sunrise, solving problems nobody trained you for, and building anyway, because that's who you are. This is your industry, your conversation. Let's get into it. I'm Ryan. Welcome to Torch and Talk.
As usual, we're going to be going over some marketing updates. I want to give you guys this information. Some of it's really good, and I think you should pay attention. This is going to be a good one. And at the very end, I'm going to talk about the biggest issues I'm seeing currently with switching marketing agencies. This has been a huge issue. I would say probably the last few clients that have left us, I've seen their traffic, their clicks, everything drop off a cliff. And I'll tell you why at the end of this podcast. Google's testing a new button on homepage for the desktop version. So they're trying to pull you into AI mode with buttons like create images, brainstorm, or ask about files. Local packs showing in AI overview. However, it is including in some cases bad information. So thought that was interesting. AI generated images being generated in AI overview on searches. So like this is happening right now with like recipes, and curious to see how this expands or maybe goes into other type searches. Cloudflare is a very popular like gatekeeper to prevent DDoS attacks. And for those of you guys who aren't familiar with DDoS attacks, it is very popular. This is something that Cloudflare literally became one of the biggest companies in the world because of these attacks. They found a solution, they put it in place, and they sell their services. Now almost every website has Cloudflare. If you don't have Cloudflare on your website, it's really important. If you're a market annuity client, it comes standard with our hosting, which is why our hosting is probably a little bit more than some of the others. However, what happens in a DDoS attack is hackers flood your website with tons of traffic to the point where it shuts down your server. In some cases, if you're on a shared server, that can affect you if someone's doing this to another site. So like if you're on a shared server and someone's attacking another site on that server, it can take your site down and it can stay down. I worked for a software company a long time ago and this happened. We were down, our website was literally down for over a month. We had federal agents in our building interviewing employees, asking questions, trying to get information. And they were all just asking for a ransom. They wanted Bitcoin transferred to their account. It was a mess. And what I'll tell you is that can hurt your business in a very big way. And then when you turn it back on or you get it back up, do you rank the same historically? Probably not. Google's got to go back into its learning phase, the algorithm and everything. So listen, Cloudflare is really important. But one thing that we're seeing chatter about with some of the news outlets on local SEO is that they actually, people are configuring Cloudflare wrong and it's hurting rankings. So if you don't know what you're doing with Cloudflare, don't do it yourself. Have someone who knows what they're doing and make sure that you're doing it right, because we are seeing or hearing about other agencies seeing ranking issues or discoverability issues in Google because of their Cloudflare settings. GBP updated guidelines to say you cannot repeat your name in different languages on the title. This is a new update that just happened. So, for example, you might have in English garage door repair, and then it would have that same title in Spanish. That's no longer really unspoken that you shouldn't have done that. But now I guess they've had a big enough issue with it where they now are removing it. GBP has rolled out a report, Google response to reviews. So like basically if you are leaving a review for a business and the business owner like attacks you, right? You can report the response to Google and they will review it. If it's aggressive or harassing, then they could take the response down or flag it. Um, it's a lot of chatter within agencies right now. With they're frustrated. Google's going around agencies and going to the businesses trying to suggest edits on the campaigns. And for those of you who've been around Google Ads for long enough, know that the Google Ads team can recommend things that can majorly hurt your campaign. It's in their best interest to get you to spend as much money as humanly possible. And quite frankly, I think it's a little bit of a conflict of interest to go around an ad agency that's running your ads to suggest to the business owner that things could be better if you do this and this, when in some sense it just doesn't make sense at all to do those things. And then when you do them, sometimes all of your ads plummet and don't do well. Google recommendations on ads is like hit or miss. And I strongly don't recommend going with the recommendations. There are a few every once in a while that are pretty good, but for the most part, I would say probably 70% are bad for you. Good for them. Google's rolling out. Well, this isn't super important, but you can't manually set language targeting for ads anymore. And basically, they're just going to like automatically generate it. Google Ads and Google Analytics now has AI baked into reports so that you can ask it questions and you can benchmark. So I think that's pretty interesting. I think that's going to be kind of like the standard going forward for a lot of reporting systems, is that AI be put into it so you can just ask it questions and get the data that you want out of it. So you don't have to spend time analyzing and changing different views and all of that. It's just going to be a better way to digest data. There's a lot of misinformation about having a service business in a home. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen marketing agencies tell people in Facebook groups, you can't have a home as a Google business profile as a service company. That is not true. That is bad information. You 100% can have a home. I believe it's even written out in the Google business profile guidelines. You can have a home as a GBP if you're a service business. I don't know what these people are talking about. I had one lady, she was a marketing agency. She owned an agency, say that you cannot do it. It's against the guidelines. I replied back that you can do it. I think I even took a screenshot of like the guidelines. And then she came back and was like, I know you can do it, but blah, 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 blah. So listen, there's a lot of misinformation about Google Business Profile. It's not that difficult. Just read the guidelines. The guidelines spell it out for you. Not everything is in the guidelines. Some of it you're just going to learn by experience, but it's crazy how much bad information is coming from agencies. Oh, this is a funny story. So a buddy of mine, actually a previous coworker that I used to work with at the software company, she started a business and she posted on LinkedIn the announcement that she's starting a business. She's finally going out on her own. She's super excited. And I shared that post. And some of you guys who are friends with me on Facebook or follow me or part of my Garage Door Entrepreneurs group saw my post where AI, like if you went into ChatGPT, so she went into ChatGPT and searched her company name. And funny thing about it is it actually listed me as a co-founder or co-owner, which is hilarious. Let me see if I can find this for you guys working on YouTube here. It was absolutely hilarious. I'd never seen anything like this before. Here it is right here from my buddy, BCS Automotive. I don't know if you can see that. It's too bright. It's too bright. Sorry. But it says BCS Automotive Advisors is a boutique automotive consulting firm co-owned by industry veterans Bridget Scott and Ryan Lucia. And I used to be in automotive, and I was very vocal, similar to the way I am in the garage door industry. So uh, I don't know, though, it's been a long time, and I don't know why it would do this. But in the top of this, it has a LinkedIn icon that basically shows the source of the information. So because I shared a post on LinkedIn, it literally made me a co founder, which I think is hilarious, right? Because AI is so easily manipulated, y'all. It's not even funny. I think I did a podcast like a year ago explaining some black hack tactics that I had learned through some new friends of mine. And it was crazy, some of the manipulation that was already being done a year ago and how easy it is to trick AI.
Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder.
Hey guys, I found something that changed my business and I want to share it with you. We've created packages that have included some of the best products in our industry to offer our service customers. The heart of that package is Stealth Hardware Kit. Stealth Hardware is the quietest hinges on the market. I challenge you to buy at least one of these, test it for yourself. Put it on your truck and design a quiet performance package for your customers willing to pay for a better, smoother running door. Buy your Stealth Hardware Kit at Service Spring, do a search for quiet hinge, and then buy that. You can buy a double or single door, 7 or 8 foot tall, and promise you, it'll change your service forever.
Somer USA and Somer Group want to thank you for an incredible year and the trust you put in them and their products. As you know, Somer places high value on relationships, education, customer service, innovation, and professionalism. And they are grateful to you for your part in the fostering and dissemination of these values. If there is any way Somer can support you in your journey, whether through their products, the values they hold to, or the knowledge Somer has gained through interaction with door dealers across the world, please reach out to the team at your convenience. They are here to serve you. Again, thank you from the entire Somer team. Check them out at somerusa.com. Tell them Ryan sent you.
Claude announced that they're I think I mentioned this maybe last week if I'm not mistaken, but Claude's wrapping their text in like a AI meta DNA. So essentially, if you take AI code or AI copy and then you put it on your website, there's going to be embedded in that text like a DNA that says that, hey, this is AI written by Claude. And so be interesting to see the impact of that. I'm not prepared to put too much information in this because Google clearly doesn't like AI crap content, but in my opinion, they don't mind well-written AI content, but it's got to be fed a certain way. And most people are not doing that right. GBP in AI overview is showing more and more, and it plays by a different algorithm. So the bigger companies with the most reviews and the velocity and all that matter definitely in your GBP, your title, all that matters. However, one of the issues that you're going to see is in the AI overview, it seems to be ranking differently. Sorry, it sounds like my mic out a little bit. I don't know what's happening. So if you are curious why your site is ranking differently in AI overview in the map pack, that is why. They are doing things differently, and quite frankly, I haven't figured it out yet, but I will, I promise. This is what we do. Gemini, a friend of mine did a video, and she actually mentioned that Gemini is loving Yelp right now. which is weird because Gemini is a Google product, and you would think that they would show more love to their own product, GBP, over Yelp. But I'm hearing more and more chatter around Yelp. And so if you have a really good Yelp profile with great reviews, then you could be prepared for the future, because we recently heard, and I think I mentioned on the last podcast, that Microsoft Bing has partnered with they partnered with Yelp a long time ago, but their OpenAI relationship has now partnered with Yelp. And so now you have that, which probably should have been seen from a mile away because of the relationships. But Yelp is becoming more and more of a focal point. And I think it's because I think at a high level, these larger companies feel like the reviews are less manipulated, and quite frankly, uh, they feel like it's probably more organic than anything. Keep in mind, Yelp reviews are highly restricted, meaning that you are not, their guidelines say that you're not allowed to ask for reviews on Yelp, definitely not allowed to incentivize people for reviews. And so, a couple things. And speaking of incentivized reviews, if you haven't heard one of my previous podcasts, I do talk about how Google's asking people who are filling out reviews, like your customers, if they're incentivized to leave the review. And if you have a bunch of people say yes, that could be a problem. So make sure you're not paying people or incentivizing them to leave a review. A trend that I'm seeing a lot, this is my last topic, guys. This is super important though, because I think, and it doesn't matter, I'm not upset if someone leaves me, right? I would assume that if someone left my agency, they would go to an agency that's competent and understands the full facet of marketing, including web and IT, if they're going to build a new site. But a lot of times, what we see is um, they don't take our tracking code off, or they'll reuse code. And this is very interesting because a lot of times I will just go in and check like 30 days later, or a couple months later, and see how they're performing. And one thing that I will tell you is this has been something that I've noticed for 20 plus years of doing marketing. Most agencies will destroy your rankings when you switch to them. And one of the main reasons for that is they'll build you a new site. And that new site won't have the same URL structure for each page. And what happens is these new URL structures are fine. Like if they want to change them, they can change them. But here's what happens. All of your old URL structure is indexed on Google. And so, and you might have those pages doing very well. Could be a blog, could be a page, whatever. Well, once those URLs are no longer found by Google, they remove them from the search results. And then you're essentially starting fresh with the new pages. I'm going to tell you a hack that's not even a hack. It's just like a 101 thing. And it drives me crazy because some of these people that have left us are good friends of mine, or I care deeply about, and they go to another agency because they get promised the world. And then I see something. I see their results drop off. I see all their pages de-indexed, and I see all these new pages popping up, and I see them struggling to get indexed. Listen, it's very simple. This is something that is like web design 101. We have what's called 301 redirect. If we're going to disband all of the previous pages, which I do not think is a good practice, it is in the best practice, it's like a best practice. Everyone knows this. So it's shocking that a lot of companies that claim to be garage door marketing agencies or home service marketing agencies don't know this yet. The 301 redirect goes from the old URL that you're taking from and point it to the new URL that you are building on. What this does is it tells Google, hey, we no longer have this page. We know it's indexed, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But we want you to index this page in place of it. And because there's a lack of confusion now, because you basically mapped it out for Google and told them exactly what your goal is, you can rank a lot better, a lot faster. And it's astonishing that almost all agencies don't get this right. It's not even like a small percentage. It's not half. It's not even 3/4. It's like 90 something percent, which is nuts to me. I really am having a hard time understanding why you don't just take an extra hour, map all these together, and do 301 redirects. And if the pages aren't indexed, you don't need a 301 redirect. So like if you currently have a page that's not on Google for whatever reason, then you don't need a 301 redirect. You just create the new page and you're good. But if you have a page that's indexed, especially one that's generating traffic and ranking really well, you definitely want that page to have a 301 redirect to a similar page going after the same topic. This ain't that hard, y'all. Like, this message is to educate business owners, but really it's a call out to agencies in the home service industry, because almost none of you guys are doing it right. And it's not that hard. Super simple stuff. Like this is 101, and you're killing these guys, and you're hurting yourself too, because you're not getting the jump start that you should, and you're going to start your relationship off bad. So listen, I want everybody to do well. It's fine. You don't have to use me, but I will say that there's some basic stuff being missed in a very big way by a lot of agencies in the home service industry, particularly garage doors. So make sure you're educated as a business owner, and make sure that all of your ranked pages have 301 if you go from one to another, or if you're having someone rebuild your site. We do it automatically. It's just standard. I hope you guys are blessed. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Thank you for following along, and we appreciate all of our sponsors.